Every year, I tell myself I am done with church sales in Columbus, Ohio. And then the season kicks off every year, and I go in guns blazing. So we are going to attempt the first church sale of the season in chaotic Columbus, Ohio. I'm going to throw a helmet on. Wish me luck.
Dear Lord, here we go. So at 8 a.m., if you pay $10, you get in early. And then 8:30 is entry, regular entry for everybody else. So we're going to file in here and hope and pray that we can find anything to maybe resell. So right when you walk into this church sale, they have women's clothing. I think they have some coats. They have some suits. It's very well organized, but I feel like this year the donations were a little bit on the low side. I felt like there just wasn't as much, or maybe it was just there were that many more people. I don't know. It didn't feel as chaotic as I'm making it sound. It seemed very calm and very normal, but I don't think there was as much. And they don't have, it's like limited space, right? There's not a ton going for them. There's the chapel and then the auditorium, if you will, and that's where all of the goods are that you see. Everything was very fairly priced. I mean, if you look at the sign here, suits for $6, dresses for $6, and then everything else really cheaply. There were some areas that I just could not weave my way into. Jewelry is one of them. This place within seconds had like 70,000 people digging through it, looking for a $15,000 bracelet. As far as t-shirts goes, the vintage kids hit the t-shirts really early, and it's a very small space in here, so there wasn't much for me to find. But underneath, nobody really looked at the shoes, so I went after shoes, and it was very hard for me to film and then source at the same time because it's so frantic at the beginning. So I'm going to show you the majority of my haul at home once the church sale footage is over. But I was able to find a decent pair of North Face trail shoes. You'll see those here in just a second. Now, I have to warn you, as well respected of a brand as North Face is, their trail shoes and their running shoes I have very low success rate selling them at decent prices. These are going to max out for me at about $25. The style is T246. I haven't identified the exact name for the style. They're in good condition. The only reason I'm picking them up is because shoes are either $1 or $2 right here, and I've got a couple of really good pairs that I'm going to show you shortly that I picked up just prior to that. So at least I have those on camera, and they're in good enough condition. I think $20-$25 sells it. These CPAP cleaning machines, so clean too. These are still good pickups. I'm leaving it behind because it's $8, and I think the prices come down a little bit to like $30-$35 if we're reselling them. There's a lot of them online now, but they do still sell. I'm looking for bigger items, or items that, when I say bigger, higher value items. And so I feel like if I'm going to leave with few things, maybe I would pick that up to sort of salvage what would otherwise have been a slow trip for me. But I'm going to end up having enough. So I left that behind. It, again, depending on how much of a return you want, $8 is not bad for those machines. It did have all the piping and everything, and it had the filter in it as well. So it might not have been a bad pickup. I'm just looking for a bigger return right now. So the rest of those electronics didn't look like much, and the place is really starting to fill up at this time. Again, much calmer feeling in years past. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe that's because they started the early entry thing, and so it wasn't just a complete mad rush right at 8:30 with everybody running in. Separating it that way may have contributed to it being just a little bit more calm. But people are leaving with items. There's lots of, towards the end of this trip, a lot of these piles were much lower. So a lot of people leaving with a bunch of goods, and I did well in the sporting goods section. So you'll see that in just a few moments. I'm still looking at art and figurines and this type of thing. This Vietnam memorial was really interesting, but it was not connected to the base, and so I thought maybe there was a problem with it. But lots of like checking stamps on the backs of plates and glassware. We're looking at tons of candles here. I feel like if there were any full candles, even being here for maybe, I would say 15 minutes, they had probably already been picked over. The ones at least were brand new. So I did go into the electronics room with the jewelry to look at some of the knickknacks and some of the figurines that they had sitting here. I thought this cup was interesting because it has the history behind it. So they purchased this at Epcot Center in either the 80s or the 90s. I looked the mug up. It's probably $15. So I'm going to leave it. it's a fair price at $2, but I always love when you can kind of track down the history of an item. That's what makes thrifting so interesting when you're able to do that. But yeah, no value. So from a professional standpoint, let's leave that behind. I looked up this, it was a Stauffer, Eric Stauffer figurine of some sort. And again, that's maybe 10, $15. The Cardinals looked like they were chipped, so I have to leave that. Couldn't find a stamp on that, like on that mug. And I don't think Season Bright or whatever that is has any value to it. So, but I'm looking at this stuff much closer. The tools look at this point like they're pretty thinned out. There was a bunch, and I do have a really interesting item that I grabbed right off the top just a little bit earlier that I'm going to show you here in just a second. But this was actually way more full. So somebody or a few people came in and really wiped out that very small section pretty quickly. So got an item from that spot. And then I'm going to move over to toys because we just got done talking about Littlest Pet Shops and how hot they are right now and how valuable some of the harder to find ones have become. So I'm going to go through all of these little bags of goodies with a fine-tooth comb. I see some like what look like maybe Pokemon figures. There's some horror figures in here. You can see the Jeep ducks and all that stuff. Nothing that looked like a Mad Ball, but it definitely is not something that was probably came from Oriental Trading. But I couldn't really. I didn't see any Shopkins. I didn't see any Littlest Pet Shops. And I was going to go back and just got distracted. And by that time, like half these bags were already gone. They have them very fairly priced at 25 cents. And if you see something in one of these bags that I missed, I'm going through it really fast. Don't be afraid to call it out. Batman sticky notes. I'm not seeing anything else in that box that has any value. I looked at this doll and then flipped it over. She was only $2, so she's pretty good. This is a nice little like crochet dress and hat to her. But EG, is that what that is? EEGEE. I don't think that had any value, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't look it up. So if it was valuable and you were in the area, I hope you grabbed it. Went over to women's purses, but the real estate, it was prime. So there wasn't a whole lot of room to wiggle in here to try to find like maybe some vintage Coach. I don't know. I picked up a couple of nice looking pebbled leather Dooney and Burke purses recently, so I went over to the end, and I think this place was sufficiently picked over by then. And now we're talking 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in. Like the mad rush really hasn't even started to fizzle in yet. So yes, a lot of these bags were picked over. Liz Claiborne, 9 West, things that really don't have any value. They separated and made like a little sports section just for Ohio State. For those of you that don't know, I'm in Columbus, Ohio, so we see a lot of Ohio State gear. Nothing here that I felt I could use or resell. This stuff is, in my opinion, a dime a dozen. I didn't see anything vintage here, and there very well could have been. In fact, the vintage kids like came in with like their motors blaring like right when the doors opened. So if there was a vintage piece in, it is almost guaranteed that it is in one of their bags. So the rest of this stuff, nothing that looks interesting, nothing that I can use. So I'm just going to move on from there. I'm looking in areas that I feel like didn't get a lot of love. And this is I don't know what you call this, it's like the bathroom section with toiletries and things of that nature. There was a hair clipper set that I grabbed that I thought might have some value. Looked it up. No doing. This keratin, when you see that type of a barcode, that's like an Amazon specific brand, that Amazon barcode on the bottom. I'm not going to sell that item, even if it does have value. I don't trust it. I want it to be from a trusted brand, and I don't trust that brand because of the way that is manufactured. I think that's one of those companies that goes straight to Amazon. So I'm going to completely avoid that. And at this point, at around 8:45, the floodgates have opened, and I have basically survived, if you want to call it that. Lots of really good people in here, and the place that runs this sale is the people are always just very generous and a lot of help. So I am going to spend the next couple of minutes in here saying hello to some people, some familiar faces, and then once that is up, I am headed home, and I am going to show you what my actual haul from the sale is. Let's check it out. We are home. Thank goodness. So there's been like a 2-hour gap between me leaving the church sale and then me recording this video. I had to
drink my protein shake, get home, take a little bit of a break, calm down a little bit. It's always such a frenzy and so chaotic. Now, it wasn't as crazy as maybe I made it sound, but it has been like that in years past. And let me tell you something, it's not going to be the first church sale that I film for you folks this season. So it might get crazier moving forward. But anyway, took a break and now I'm ready to go. Okay, so when I was in the tools section, I grabbed this thing right here. This is a Honeywell. I love Honeywell products, especially the thermostats. If you guys, and I know, there's some of you out there that are still skipping products like these. Why are you doing that? You're leaving money on the table. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Now, this is a digital deadbolt. It's got a keypad on it, but when I grabbed it, because I had to be fast, I shoved it in my bag, never thought about it again, checked out, got home, and then went like this. And it sounds like there's 150,000 pieces loose in there. Luckily, when I opened it, it's still brand new open box. There's just a lot of pieces and parts to it, but it is completely brand new. So I got lucky. Do your due diligence and check the stuff before you leave the place. It was only you see that marked $5, but those tools got wiped out really quick. So I had to act fast. This is gonna sell for probably between $50 and $60. There's one that's listed for 60 and they're charging $7 or $8 shipping. There's one that's listed for 70. Anyway, this is going to sell and it's gonna sell between $50 and $60. So this was one of my higher dollar pickups. I'm happy about that. That section again, they should almost consider widening it, but like I had said before, I feel like overall donations in general were down this year for that store. So I'll take what I can get, and this was a good first hit. 3 pairs of shoes. The first one here is a pair of Vionics, which I don't sell a ton of. The style on these is Kensley, Kensley. I think these are brand new. I think they're brand new. I don't know if they're brand new, but I think they're brand new. They're a women's size 9, mint condition. I saw a comp for $45 with free shipping. I might just put 30 on it and call it a day. $30, $35. I will go into my desktop and do a little bit more research. So there's one that you saw on the screen. I'll look for more. It's sort of this natural, like woven. There are a lot more sold comparables that were the leather style. So, but it's, summer coming up. I don't know, let's say 35 for those, 35, 40 for those. Next, Zero. If you weren't aware that Zero, Xero, is a Bolo brand, now you know. Let me show you what these look like here. These are called Prios, P-R-I-O. Good looking soles. I think these are a men's 12. Yes, they're a men's size 12. These are gonna sell in the $40 to $45 range as well. Good shoe, very fly under the radar, if you will. So I like them. Insoles are in great shape. These shoes are in just really good shape overall. So 45 for those, 30 to 40 for the Vionics. And it has been a year, I think a year plus, since I have found Onitsuka Tigers anywhere. These are Mexico 66 is the style on these. The style number D4J2L. These are actually a size 12. They look a little narrow, but I have a narrow foot, so these might get listed or they might not get listed and they might end up on feet. I think I will probably still sell them because I think these ones, look at the soles. Soles are in really good condition. I mean, they are just so clean. Super clean on the fronts, on the bottoms, the insoles. I mean, they look, another one where they look barely worn. I might put 60 on these just because of the condition and how hard in general they are to find. Again, similar comps in this color scheme, maybe not exactly with like the white and the blue navy with the leather and the suede on top. I've seen some sell in the $70 range on it. I might put 60 on it. Maybe I will go higher, but those 3 pairs of shoes alone, do the math, 45, 35, maybe 50. We did pretty well in the shoe section, but I can tell you, like I was the first one to hit the shoes and there just wasn't a ton to pick through. So I think I like nicely curated a few pairs for myself. And then we'll just take a shot at like $20 to $25 on the North Face, just because, I want to get, paid maximum for my time. That's why I picked those up, if that makes sense to you. So those 4 pairs, not too bad. And then now we're going to take a look at some golf items. It's sun, then it's pouring rain, and then it's sun again. So you know what? We're going to take a look at this golf bag. We're going to do it outside. It's nice out. All right, look at this beautiful specimen of a bag. They had this marked $25, so I had to pay up for it. It's fine. It is what it is. It's like a 14. Is this 14? 14-way divider? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, it's a 14-way divider. It doesn't have a stand, and I don't really care. It's a Cobra ultra light something or other golf bag, and it does have the what do you call it, the rain cover. It's got the rain cover. This is so clean, really clean, no holes in the pockets, and I think I can get $100 for this pre-owned. It's in great shape. I would be embarrassed if there was like a big hole in it or something and I didn't notice that. But listen, we do the good, we do the bad, and we do the ugly, no matter what, on this channel. So anyway, I like this bag. I thought this was an easy pickup at $25, knowing that I could get, or at least assuming that I could get, around 100 for it. But it's very light, and again, so easy to ship in those Starbucks boxes that I'm always talking about. So this thing, I think, is as good as sold at this point. Clubs. I got a couple clubs to show you. I don't know if you can see this. This is a Callaway FT9 with it's a driver with is a 10.5 loft. Listen, when it comes to golf, I'm close, but I'm not there yet. So I might get some of these technical details wrong, but you guys know who you're dealing with at this point. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not an expert at golf things. So anyway, this is a nice, I feel like this is a nice driver. Graphite, Fujikura graphite shaft, Flex S, which I believe is stiff. I think this is gonna get like $40 to $50. It is super long, so it's gonna, take a lot of like those mini boxes that I get at Walmart to ship them. Whatever, I've done it a million times at this point. So let's say $40 to $50 on this club. Club head is in good shape. And then I picked up a putter that I think I can get $40 for. This is a Ray Cook SR 500. Looks like Scotty Cameron-ish putter. I mean, it's really not even close, but some of these, like, I don't know what you call this design for these putters, but this one is in, I would say, excellent condition. So Ray Cook Silver Ray SR 500. Grip is in great shape, and it's left-handed, which might take a little bit longer to sell, but I think you can get a better price. I've seen it a lot where the price seems like it's a little bit better for left-hand. That might just be an anomaly. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert on golf, but I think this is $40 for this here. So 40 to 50 on that driver, 40 on that putter. And then I have this is the one I wanted to show you, TaylorMade ATV grind. I don't even know what this is. 56 degree something or other. Who the hell knows? I don't know. But when I was looking it up, it's a steel shaft. Again, the grip is in excellent condition. I think this will be around $30. So I paid $40 total for 6 clubs. So what does the math come out to? And I'll make my money back with just these 3. I haven't looked the other ones up yet, but those came together. And then the golf bag. So the golf items, like, I feel like I will do well on as well. So between the tool that I got in the tool section, the shoes, and the golf items, I still did really well in a very short, small, compact amount of time. And I don't know, I spent around, I want to say $100 somewhere, and that includes the $10 entry fee. So it seems like, doesn't that seem like a lot to be spending at a church sale? But I need the inventory. So a lot of their stuff was fairly priced. A lot of this stuff was, maybe it seems like it was on the higher side, but I'll take it. So anyway, that's it. Yes, there will be more church sale footage coming up here in the month of May. So if that's the type of content you like to see, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That's it. That's all I have. I need a nap, and I
I don't know. Maybe I'll go get Burger King or something. I don't know. Bye.